Guess what I got? Got a new pair of Millikens here. These are the blue lens ones. Last year they gave me, I asked the guy from Waterland, which ones would you suggest? And he suggested the green lens. And then this year I ordered and I got blue lens because I thought that's what I had last year. So upon trying them, they're excellent when it's sunny conditions. But when it's cloudy conditions, they're not as good as the green. Right now it's kind of dark in the overcast. So yeah, I'm gonna order another pair of the green lens. And then these will be great for like summertime fishing for bass and stuff. You know, summertime fishing for Chinooks or whatever when it's sunny, but this time of year there's not a lot of Mr. Sun. If you do order a pair, you can enter a code BENTRODCA. You'll get 15% off. I totally vouch for them, they're great glasses. Tons of the guys in the Bassmaster Elites are using them this year. For those guys, it's big. Yeah, like sight fishing is huge, especially when they get into the fish go in the spawning bed. Then it's all sight fishing when they're fishing for spawners, and it's so important to have good glasses. They're pretty reasonably priced, and they're made by fishermen for fishermen. That's probably my favorite part. Come on, little fishies. Let me know when it's on.
It's on.
Hey everybody, it's Ben Rod. Today I'm going to talk about float fishing Colorado blades for steelhead. And this can apply to coho and Chinooks, whatever, but today we're specifically thinking steelhead. First of all, I'm going to show you first how I build a spinner, then I'll show you how I tie it on and what size leader, all that. But first let's teach you how to build a spinner. Now, we have different sizes here. For steelhead, I much prefer these smaller ones. That's a 3.5 inch Colorado spinner. A lot of them are painted. I fish ones with these stickers on them, also painted ones, and almost never do I fish just a plain metal finish. For clear water, when I don't want it to be too bright, I just fish these ones with this scale pattern sticker on them. And then the dirtier the water gets, I start getting into these crazy painted ones. So, to build a spinner, all you need is you need a blade, and you need to be able to open the bag. So to build a spinner, all you're gonna need is a blade, 2 swivels, a split ring, and a hook. And glasses, if you're me. You younger people, maybe not. I need glasses. Now, I take a swivel and a split ring, and I hold it tight. I pop it open using the swivel. Say that. Get it start. Oh. So I get it started on there. Then you take your other swivel. Make this look so easy. Get it started on there, and then I take my blade. Get it started just like that. And you get your pliers. And now you just hold it up, recognize which swivel is going to be on the back side of the blade. There it is. Then you take your open eye hook right here. Put it on there. You take your pliers. And ta-da! And then we pinch the barb. Very good, you can see the barbs pinched. There you have it. Last year I caught a 17 and a half pound hatchery on that blade. Sorry, it wasn't this one, it was that one. They're very similar. This one's a scale pattern, this one's just a solid pattern. Another one I really like, silver with a copper scale. So I'm gonna build that one for you too. Take our swivel, and get that first one, open it up the split ring. There we go, one's in. I like these small components. It makes it a little bit hard to build if you got kind of sausage hands, but it's definitely, I like the small components. I find they fish better.
It's definitely wet.
It's definitely better for fishing to have the smaller components. You don't want big components. It makes it more stealthy. And okay, you take that. Shoot. It's on there. Now this part you recognize which one's hanging, which swivel's on the back. So there you go, you can see that one's hanging on the back. So you take the one that's on the back of the blade, put it on there, take your pliers, pinch that barb, done. There you go. It's that simple. That's all you need. 2 swivels, 1 split ring, blade, hook. Done. Ready to catch a fish. These are the bigger ones. These are the 4.5s. These are for a little bit dirtier water, or for when I fish Chinooks, like often I'll use those bigger ones. All right, so let me grab my fishing rod and I'll be right back. Okay, so people often ask me when I'm fishing Colorados, how long a leader do you use? Do you bang bottom? Here's the rule. I don't bang bottom with my weight. I keep it just off bottom, because the spinner is a little bit weighted. So if you try to get too close with your weight, your spinner will get hung up. So you want your weight probably about 4 inches off bottom. Try to just move your float and try to judge the water depth. Unless there's big boulders, then sometimes I'll fish it a little bit, like I'll fish it so it kind of goes around the boulders. But yeah, spinners will get hung up if you fish them too deep. Leader length, I'm pretty much standard from about 16 to 18 inches, pretty much standard for me when I'm fishing blades. And like what I see a lot of people do when they fish spinners is they fish quite deep and they cast downriver and they swing their spinner across. That is not how I do it at all. I fish it just like I fish a bead. I fish it so I cast out, straight out, and I let it drift with the current. That's why I like water that's a little bit, I'd say fast walking speed, at least with a choppy top. That's where I do my best on spinners, because I'm casting in and I'm just letting it drift naturally with maybe a tiny bit of holding back just to get that blade going. But I just want to work it down, just like you would a bead or even bait, whatever. But it's not this swing. That's different. That's if I cast inline spinners or cast spoons, I'll swing them. But with these type, with Colorados, I find they bite them way better when it's a slower spin, not that fast, like whoosh, swinging across. It's more that just won't. I get most of my bites when I get that perfect speed to the spin. Another technique I use when I'm fishing spinners, sometimes you come to like some slow water, and I know people are like, this is more like bait water, or this is more like jig water, because it's slow, right? And they think it can't get their spinner spinning. So what I'll do is I'll cast out, and I'm not talking dead slow, but I'm talking like walking speed or a little bit slow walking speed. I'll cast out with my blade, and then I'll let a bunch of line out so that I create a belly on the water. So that what happens is usually I'll be casting across to some slower water and there's faster water in between me, and I'll let my line go in that current and belly so that it actually pulls my blade downstream. And then I let out a certain distance, then I just let it go, and it'll stay over in the good spot you're trying to fish, but it'll, because you're slightly pulling it downriver, it's like bump, 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 bump. And that technique's especially deadly on coho. And told a friend of mine about it, and like the next day he went out and did it, and he's like, oh my goodness, that was like the ticket yesterday. It's like that slow spinning and slow water with that copper blade with that line belly. So that's another really good technique. Another technique is like you come to like a big boulder, like down there's a big boulder in the water, and it's kind of slow behind the boulder, and a lot of guys won't even fish a blade in there because they think, oh, it's not going to spin. So with that one, what I'll do is I'll cast out, quite far past it, and then I just slowly reel that blade right by that boulder. And I've caught many steelhead doing that, when I just pull it right by that boulder and they just wham. One nice thing about blades too is there's no light bites with blades. Usually when you get a bite on a blade, it's just the floats just whoomp down, fish on. Like they're pretty aggressive on the bite on them. And yeah, it's actually really fun. I like those heavy bites, because I mean, sometimes when you fish like, you know, a lot of bait for steelhead and that, you get a lot of those soft takedowns where the float just like goes under slow or whatever. You don't be getting any of that on a blade. So I'm going with this one. This is brass with a purple scale pattern, or maybe even fuchsia, I'd call that. I don't know, purple or fuchsia. I'm going with 15-pound fluoro on here. I usually use 12-pound mono. Like this season I've been using 12-pound mono, but today I thought it'd be smart, and the water was clear, so I was like, oh, I'm gonna buy some 10-pound mono. I never snap off it. So I hooked 2 fish this morning, lost them, then I went back to the one spot that I hooked a fish and hooked a big one on my 10-pound mono and got snapped right off. So we're done with 10-pound mono for now.
Why do you have to keep testing your own rules?
Because I went out for a full day and didn't get a single bite, and I was like, okay, something's up. And just like all fish, when we start to question everything when we're not, you know, when we're not getting. So I was like, oh, my leader's too big. They're seeing my leader, and da-da-da-da-da, and yeah, and then I snap one off, so I'm still not convinced.
I was gonna say, you did hook it though.
I know, I hooked 3 today, so and 0 the other day with 12-pound mono and 3 on 10, so I don't know. But as we all know, steelhead are where you find them. So the other day I might just never have put one in front of a steelhead. Oh, I got another good story to add to this. So this morning I was fishing. I went to the one spot and there was this really nice piece of water on the far side of the river, and I was bombing it over there. I put a prawn through there, like, I'm gonna say 15 times. I ran a prawn down this, so it was right on the edge of the shore on the far side of the river, and I ran it down. I just felt there was a fish there, and I ran it down like 15 times, and then my prawn fell off or whatever, and I was like, I'm just gonna stick a bead on, whatever. I didn't think I'd get bit because the prawn, you know, I figured if he was in there, he would have bit the prawn. So I put on a 14 mil hot pink prism bead, cast over there. My float hit the water and just went boom, straight under, like fish on, like immediately on that bead. So yeah, just like fish are where you find them, fish are gonna bite whatever they want, not what you want to fish to them. So that's why it is good to try different things. And on that one I had witnesses, because I had 2 guys I know that were watching me, and they saw me fish that whole piece of water, and he saw me switch to that bead. And the whole thing is like, after I ended up losing that one, he's like, I saw that whole thing. I'm like, yeah. It was crazy it didn't bite the prawn. I go, I know. Like most people will tell you, like, if they didn't bite the bait, they're not there. Kind of, a lot of people are like that, but yeah, that proved it wrong. And that can be with so many things. Like I've been fishing runs where a bunch of good fishermen are there. They're all fishing like roe and bugs and bait. And then some fella you can tell who's fairly new to steelheading comes up and he's got a 6-inch pink worm on, and you're like, does he know the water's clear? They don't bite 6-inch pink worms when it's clear. Casts out, he's like, I got one! First one I've ever caught! I watched a guy do that one day. We were all fishing, and all these guys who think we know what we're doing. And he got 3 in a row. His first steelhead, and his second, and his third. I was just like, oh, all right. They bite whenever they want. Okay, let's go fishing. Yeah, so today, it's funny enough, I took a picture of a blade, was tying on earlier, and posted it on Instagram story, and right away, I got a message from someone saying, I want to learn to use blades, but every time I've tried, I get line twist, and I have to change my leader constantly. So like, I don't know what they're doing, but maybe they're not using a swivel above and below. Maybe they're just using one swivel. I'm not sure. Or maybe they're doing that thing I said where you cast down river in fast water and swing it across and then reel it back in through fast water. I think if you do that enough, that blade gets spinning too fast. I think then you could run into line twist. But I think if you just fish normal and just reel in at a normal speed, I don't think you'll have it, because I don't really seem to have a problem. Once in a while, I'll cast and my blade will get fouled somehow, like the line will wrap around. Then I'll get line twist, and all I do is just change my leader. Like I would much rather change the leader than try to like, oh, it should be okay. That is the famous last words in steelhead fishing. Oh, I got a knot in my leader. It'll be okay. No, never. You have a dull hook? No. Knotted leader? No. Twisted leader? No. All that is change. I mean, for the amount of steelhead all of us actually catch, you're better just to take the time to have everything tight and don't use 10-pound leader. There should be a run called that, Bedrod Falls.
It's like Bigfoot footage.
Scissors. Yeah, so today to film this video about float fishing Colorado, we decided to come to where there was no people. Didn't quite work out for us because when we arrived, people showed up, but we found a little spot to have, be able to film the video and stuff. But yeah, definitely up in this part of the river right now, it's a little bit too clear for, like if I was gonna try to hook fish up in here, I'd definitely be using like a 10 or 12 mil bead right now. because yeah, it's a little bit too clear up here for the blade right now, but down below where I hooked 3 fish today, it's money for the blade, because you get that little bit of effect from the clay banks, get some color in the water. But it's beautiful up here, and you can hook fish up in this clear water. There's definitely fish around, but yeah, you got to go with some pretty small presentations in this gin clear water. Like it is, what do you think? Like
it's so
Danena
clear.
noticed, she's like, isn't it kind of clear up here? And I'm like, yeah, it's really clear, but
it's beautiful. Like it's really...
that's why there's no people up here, and that's why we come up here to film, because we just wanted to get away from people. I'm actually gonna go back to where I hooked the 3 fish and go catch some fish. I'll try to get some rod cam of a blade fish today. I just have to commit to fishing the blade now, because now that I've hooked 2 on prawn, 1 on bead, I'm gonna be hard to put the blade on. But after I go through and don't get anything with those other things, then I'll put the blade on, and if I get one, then even more bonus. But definitely the water down there is well more set up for the blade right now. But we're not quite done. Just gonna fish this tail out, see if I can fluke one out here at the end. There is the deepest spot right here in the tail out, so big boulders. Prime hiding spot for a big old steelhead. Okay, let me fish this tail out so you can go do your thing, and I can go catch fish.
Yes, please.
Come on, little fishies. I'm so excited.
I know you are. There you go.
Yes. New sunglasses. If you guys want some deadly sunglasses, I loved these things last year. They were awesome. I did my usual, but it took me a good 6-7 months to fully scratch them up. So yeah, this is Waterland sunglasses. These guys make sunglasses for fishermen, made by fishermen. These ones work well. I had them last year. They do work well. They keep them on your head and stuff, which is good. If you guys want to get a pair of these, you can go to their website and use Bedrods CA, and you get a 15% discount. Yeah, so these ones are what they call the BedFishers. These ones I'll use for bass. These ones have more coverage, so you can really sight fish. Oh, yeah.
I can totally see you wearing these all the time.
Yeah, full coverage on these. They really block all the angles. I got blue lenses for both because I had such good luck with the blue lenses last year. They just seem
You didn't have blue lenses last year. You had green. You thought you had blue before?
Yeah.
No, you had green.
Look at blue lenses now. They're as good as the green. But the lenses I had last year were good for, like, if it was sunny, they were good. If it was overcast, they were good. Yeah.
Yeah, those are nice.
These are my Steelhead ones for sure.
Yeah, those are totally you. I'm curious now that you've got a different colored lens to see what you're going to think of them. What's the discount code for 15% off?
Bedrods CA.
No spaces or
No dots
or anything.
Bedrods CA. As I fish down those runs, I can like look in and like see those rocks so much better. I was guiding today and we came to a spot. I didn't have any glasses on, but I could just barely make out 2 yellow rocks, and I told the one good fellow, see that yellow rock and see that yellow rock? Those 2 yellow rocks. He had to really look, and he finally kind of saw them. I said, in between those 2 rocks is where the fish like to sit. And all of a sudden I just heard, fish on! Looked up and this big steelhead come cartwheeling out of the water, and yeah, he nailed it right in between. So if he had Polaroids, like, think of all the situations like that where you can like see those rocks.
If he had what?
Polarized. That's what I said.
Oh, it's it.
Until next time, take lines.